Stereotyping and Abu Hemairoon bird. During a hunting trip, my friend and I experienced something quite funny. Later, I was able to interpret what had happened in a scientific way. We were about 15 years old, full of excitement and impatient to catch something valuable, even though what we had was only a single pellet gun. While walking along a narrow dirt road lined with cactus trees on both sides, we discovered an opening on the left side, like a gate between the cactus plants, and decided to go through it. The moment we stepped in, we saw pomegranate trees arranged in a neat row. It was actually a fence separating two pieces of land. We walked a little further with the pomegranate trees on our right. Suddenly, I noticed the head of a bird between the leaves. I could not see its body because the foliage was too dense. We both started running. My friend stood behind me while I positioned myself behind an olive tree so that I was facing the pomegranate tree where I had seen the bird, only a few meters away. When I changed my angle to aim, I suddenly noticed other birds moving their heads between the leaves. My friend whispered urgently for me to hurry and shoot at least one before the rest escaped. I told him no, not necessarily. Maybe these are Abu Hemairoon birds. They might not even fly away. I aimed and fired at the first bird. Another bird stood next to it. It did not fly away. The foliage was extremely dense. In my mind, I felt lucky. These must be Abu Hemairoon birds, the stupid birds, and I would hunt all of them. I fired at the second bird. I missed. It did not move. It just kept turning its head left and right. Suddenly, I heard a voice from a distance. A man was shouting. His house was located at the end of the long pomegranate row. He stood on the roof, waving and shouting insults. I shouted back, "Forgive us, we did not come here to eat pomegranates, just to hunt birds." He yelled, "You are shooting my birds. I placed bird-lime traps, and the birds get stuck one after another, and you are shooting them with a gun." I will not go into what happened afterward, because the main point is to tell about the story of that bird, Abu Hemairoon, and how I got caught in the trap of assuming that all birds that do not fly away when shot at belong to this so-called type. By the way, this name is not a scientific classification. It is merely a local nickname. The story of Abu Hemairoon actually began about a month before the previous hunting incident. It happened when I borrowed a pellet gun and did not know how to adjust its sight. One day, my cousin came over and I told him, "Let's go hunting." He tried the pellet gun and said it needed sight adjustment. We went out onto the dirt road behind our house in the village. Before we even used the piece of cardboard we were supposed to shoot at repeatedly to calibrate the sight, my cousin, the hunter, suddenly spotted a bird. He said, "What a coincidence! We can adjust the sight using that bird." I asked how. He replied that it was stupid and would not fly away even if a pellet passed right next to its head. After several attempts of shooting and adjusting the sight, he eventually managed to hit it. I witnessed it myself. From that moment on, in my mind, there was a bird called Abu Hemairoon the Stupid. Because of that generalization, stereotyping, and the absence of rational judgment, I later ended up in trouble when I tried to shoot birds that were actually stuck on glue traps placed between pomegranate leaves. How many false assumptions and dangerous stereotypes exist in our lives? Assumptions that lead us into problems with serious consequences. They can only be eliminated through questioning, investigation, and the use of reasoned judgment. Stereotyping is, at its core, a natural outcome of how the brain works, not merely a thinking error. The human brain constantly seeks to reduce effort, especially since the cerebral cortex responsible for deep analysis consumes a significant amount of energy. As a result, instead of processing every situation or individual independently, the brain relies on quick mental shortcuts based on similarity and past experience. These shortcuts allow us to form rapid generalizations, which is what we call stereotyping. Over time, this behavior becomes not just habitual, but biologically reinforced. When we rely on these shortcuts and feel successful or correct, the brain releases dopamine, reinforcing the pattern and making it more likely to repeat. Conversely, when we face new or complex situations, cortisol levels rise, pushing us away from cognitive effort and back toward quick judgments. Stereotyping does not arise because people refuse to think, but because the brain is designed to choose the easier, less energy-consuming path. Therefore, deep thinking and true analysis require conscious effort to resist this natural tendency and move from quick judgment to genuine understanding. Ultimately, stereotyping operates silently, gradually shaping how a person sees themselves and the world around them. With repetition, these judgments turn into internal beliefs that may weaken confidence, reduce motivation, and create imaginary limitations on what is possible. Over time, the impact of stereotyping extends beyond the individual mind into relationships, opportunities, and decisions. In this way, stereotyping is not just a passing thought, but a hidden force that reshapes our perception of ourselves and others, making awareness the first step toward freedom from it. Thanks for watching.